everybody. Welcome. We are back with a new episode of Where Have You Been Lately? Brought to you by the Boyertown Museum of Historic Vehicles. And here on Where You've Been Lately, we like to find some, destinations, places of interest to suggest to you if you're on a road trip.
Road trip.
So,
yes.
Have you been road tripping lately?
I'm always on a road trip.
You always are.
I was on a road trip last night, yeah.
Yeah. I was on a road trip from here to my house last night. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty exciting.
Not really. Doing construction. I drove
Okay.
through some construction. Anyway, yours is probably a lot more exciting. So.
Well, I don't know. Because I drove through construction too. So anyway, what I want to tell you about, I went here, it was quite a while ago now, but I see it quite often. And I was on my way to my parents at the time, and I'm going through Shippensburg, Pennsylvania, on Route 11.
Yeah.
And actually, I was leaving my parents. This is right before my dad died, or maybe right after, but whatever, and I'm thinking about all that stuff. And it's kind of late at night, it's dark and stuff, and I'm driving Route 11 through Shippensburg, and there's a dealership there called Shively Motors. They sell Dodges. And they got their big showroom building, but next to it was another building. I kind of glanced in as I'm driving by, and I'm thinking, it looks like old cars there. I turn around, I pull in there's no parking spots. I kind of pulled in between two new cars, and I'm looking in, and so there's this place. So I figured I had to come back here and investigate. So I went back maybe a month later, and so it's called Shively Motors Mopar Museum. It's in Shippensburg. And if you want to go, it's on West King Street in Shippensburg, which is on the west, actually it's the southwest side of the town. And you come to a big old Dodge dealer, and it's right there. And I parked in their parking lot, so you have to walk from there, past the showroom building to this other building, and you walk in, it was free. Nobody else is there. The whole time I was there.
Oh, it's like a private showing.
Actually, when I was in there, somebody drove another car in that building, and they left. And they probably didn't even see me, and I was there. So, because I had some new things in there. So anyway, it's all different cars that are in this collection. And first, a quick little thing about Shively Motors. They started in 1939 in Chambersburg, and over the years, they bought some other dealerships and so on and so forth, and sold them and merged. And anyway, and in 2008, they bought Noggle Motors in Shippensburg, and they end up changing the name to Shively Motors. Anyway, I'm in this place. I'm thinking, I've heard of this, Shively Motors. Where have I heard about it? And I'm walking through and reading the nameplates on the cars and stuff. And at the end, they had some display cases, and they had a couple posters, and they show a race car. That's it. So Shively Motors. So you look at the first picture here, and you're going to see a car here, and it's a... I believe a 1964 Dodge, and it's a white Dodge, and it was driven by Bud Falble. And Doug was a fighter pilot in Korean War. Actually, he was a Navy fighter pilot in Korean War. Vietnam, he was an Air Force fighter pilot. And anyway, he ended up being a commercial airline pilot while he raced in his spare time. This is drag racing. And Shively Motors sponsored him. He also was involved with the dealership, was working there. He owned one of their franchise ones that they had throughout the years. But his cars were called the Hemi Honker. And they had a picture of a goose on the side, and they were Hemi engine Dodges. And Marvin Panch, who was a NASCAR driver, he says, that car handles like a real honker. And so that's what they ended up putting on there. So he liked the nickname, kept it on there. 1965, He was the Mr. Stock Eliminator of the year. He was very well known. 1966, he teamed up with an aircraft engineer named Bob Keller. Added a twin turbos to his Hemi drag car, and you see a picture of that, black and white picture. And his top speed was 160 back in 1965. That was like really good. Wow. Now I think your little gold car does 165.
Yeah, sure.
Pushed off a cliff.
Exactly.
Okay.
The bag of cat litter in the back, yeah.
What was that?
Give it some extra weight.
Oh, okay. 1966 also, the scene was changing with the drag racing. They went to altered wheelbase cars. You'll see that in the last picture there. Because that's altered wheelbase. You look at the rear axle, of course, has moved up quite a bit. He became really popular in the match race circuit where they weren't affiliated with any organization, but they just went from drag strip to drag strip racing for money that way. And I think, from what I understand, that's where they made their real money. The guys like Bud Fauble here. Ends up member of the NHRA Hall of Fame, the Mopar Hall of Fame, and a magazine or a newspaper, East Coast Drag Times, their Hall of Fame also. So I think he just died a couple of years ago, Bud Fauble did. So anyway, so that's kind of it about him. That's it about Shively Motors. This is a quote from Shively Motors from their website concerning their little museum there. We have 20 antique and classic vehicles on display. Many of these vehicles were sold new by Shively Motors or have local history. Browse many photos and memorabilia from over 80 years of Shively Motor history. The museum is free for customers and guests of Shively Motors to visit during normal business hours. The Mopar Museum is located at our Shippensburg dealership. Shively Motors is proud to share and display some of our long history here in Franklin County. Okay, again, West King Street in Shippensburg. So if you're moving the south direction on Route 11, it's kind of on the other side of town there. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 8:30 to 8 o'clock. Wednesday, 8:30 to 5 o'clock. Saturday, 8:30 to 3 o'clock. Sunday, closed. But that has all, you can just go on their website. It's a lot easier. Shively, Shively. So it's a neat little thing. Doesn't take a lot of time, and it's neat. Now, I didn't discover this until like a few months ago. I think in the spring. We were looking at getting a tourist cabin here. And we were going to put...
Bucket list item.
We're planning on putting it like right there, hopefully, okay? To accompany the diner and our gas station. And we found some tourist cabins in Shippensburg. It's right across the street from this place, from Shively Motor. And I stopped in, I was looking at these tourist cabins and walking around and stuff, and where I parked my car when I visited the museum was right where these tourist cabins were. And I also saw postcards for the tourist cabins from back in the 30s, and that organization had tourist cabins on both sides of the street, including where I was parking. That was the bigger tourist cabin park. They had gas stations both sides of the street. They had a restaurant across the street from Shively. That's still there. That's closed. It's like a stone building. Kind of looks like a large house. Very nice looking though. But everything's all closed up. And while I was looking at the tourist cabins, nobody came out and talked to me. Nobody was there. So nobody lives there. Yeah,
no one tried to chase you off.
And trying to track down these tourist cabins so we could get one. We kind of struck out. The township itself says, that, they have a hard time getting a hold of the owners. So
we made a valiant effort.
Yeah, but it was kind of neat. Now, it seems like I've mentioned this before on a video somewhere. But anyway, those tourist cabins were brought to light by a board member's neighbor whose grandparents owned them back in the day. We're talking in the 30s and 40s. Some of the people who stayed in those tourist cabins were workers on the Pennsylvania Turnpike when they first built it in the late 30s, early 40s. They were building an interchange. I think it's the Blue Mountain Interchange, which is the next one west of Carlisle. So they were staying in Shippensburg, which isn't like real close. So it kind of surprised me, but it might be 10 miles, which just seems to be far. But anyway, that interchange is the same interchange where our toll booth from the Turnpike came from.
Yes.
So don't come in looking for the toll booth from the Turnpike.
It's not assembled
It's in
yet.
storage. Yeah, and not assembled. So, yeah.
It's like a big erector set we gotta put together.
It is, but just to make that connection, whether
neat.
Or not
unusual.
we got these things. Yeah, it's like, okay, we got this, and we found these tourist cabins. That
You
people
think it would
built
be
this,
like karma and kismet, whatever, serendipity, something, but it hasn't worked out yet for us.
So anyway, that's all part of that.
That's neat that this dealership is maintaining this little
free
mini
open
collection.
to the public.
That's pretty cool.
And, in fact, I'll probably go buy that tomorrow.
No.
There's another road trip going down to visit
tomorrow.
Mom. And if I miss it tomorrow, next day I'll be coming home and I'll pass it. So, okay, that's it. And
awesome.
Here's another thing. I mentioned it's Route 11. That's the main street of Shippensburg. And if you think, okay, it takes a lot of time, you can go on the interstate. 81's right there. You get off 81, go through Shippensburg, and then you get back on. So there you go. It's
Easy
a nice
peasy.
little side trip.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
Okay, easy peasy.
Easy
Isn't that what you
peasy.
said?
That's
Okay.
right.
All right.
Great, perfect automotive themed destination for you when you're out and about next time.
Okay.
So tune in again next time. We'll give you another place to check out. And in the meantime, we hope you visit us here at the museum. We're open 7 days a week. Check out our website or follow us on Facebook. Or, of course, we hope that you're subscribing to our YouTube channel so you can get all of our episodes of all of our programs. And we will see you next time when we find out, I guess, where I've been lately.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
All right. See you then.
Okay.